Welcome to today's episode of Financially Fierce. Hey, thank you for being here because there is a lot of hype around, the pressure, if you will, for the new year glow up. You know the one. Normally it comes with like a buy this scented thing and it will help you be the person that you've always dreamt of being. Hurry, sale ends soon. Who wants to miss out on being the glow up version of yourself that you could have been? I think at this time of year, maybe you're listening to this right at the very end of 2025, or perhaps you're listening to this in 2026, we want to kind of cut through the noise, not feel that pressure to, glow up, if you will. But what I wanted to take you through today is some top tips around goal setting. I don't want you to feel pressured. I want you to feel excited about goal setting. So in today's episode, I'm going to do a mini episode. Short, sharp ideas. So let's skip the pressure. Let's not assume that we are glowing up. Let's instead give you short, sharp, practical tips to help you create some goal setting framework that is going to work for you in 2026 and beyond.
This is a podcast for everyone that wants to learn how to make fierce and bold choices with their money. We'll talk about how to shape your money mindset, investing for your future, your spending habits, the good and the bad, plus how to achieve your financial goals, and most of all, how to be financially fierce. I'm a financial educator and I want to empower you to be more in control of your money and build the financial future that you want. I run the Greenhouse Money Growing Program, and you can find details of that in the podcast show notes. My name is Jessica Brady. It's time to get financially fierce.
Okay, if you are new here, hello and welcome. But for those of you old timers, hello, welcome to another year with me. I'm so excited that you are here. If you are new though, you may not know that I really love goal setting, despite not always myself doing it perfectly, which I think is a good lesson in itself, that we are not always trying to do it perfectly. Goal setting is something that I am tremendously passionate about because personally, this was an area of my life that I didn't always do well. I worked really hard and I thought working hard, earning good money would lead to life success in whatever version, whatever varietal that sort of comes in for you. And what I didn't really understand is that working hard and earning money is a very important piece to the jigsaw puzzle, but there is often a missing piece, and that is around goal setting and goal attainment that I never quite got. I always just thought I work hard equals all the nice things that I want. And then when I was working hard and I couldn't see the nice things, I was like, what the hell is going on? And so I went on years worth of research and deep rabbit holing, going deep down into neuroscience and understanding why our brains need goals, why they thrive off goals and goal setting and progress tracking. And I wanted to do this quick, short, sharp, let's see how I go, episode to just help you have a little bit more structure and framework, or a structure and framework to help you set a goal. Maybe you want to do this with your partner. Maybe you want to grab your bestie or send this to your bestie and you can do it together, or keep yourself accountable, your sibling. Maybe you're on holidays and want to take yourself, for a coffee or just to a quiet little place in the park and do this so that you are feeling like you are doing something really impactful really quickly to help you moving forward. Now, I want to start by saying this is not coming from a place of let's fix everything. We are often so good at trying to fix things and looking at all the things that are not perfect, broken, we didn't do well enough, we didn't do good enough, where we fell short. We are often our own worst inner critic. I want you to come at these questions that I'm about to ask you from a place of curiosity and to help propel our progress faster. I was going to say more furiouser, faster and calmer. That's better. And maybe with a bit more fierceness in the year that is now here. So I want you to ask yourself, no matter when you're listening to this, what did I learn about myself this year? Again, without shame, without guilt, just from a place of neutral curiosity. I feel like I'm a yoga teacher. If only I was calm enough to do that. and now Shavasana. What did I learn about myself this year? What did you learn about yourself? Good, bad, or ugly? Then I want you to consider what felt really aligned, both energetically and to my values this year. What felt really aligned for you? And I often find people can be challenged with this question. And what they often instead identify is what felt really misaligned, what felt really draining from an energy perspective, or what felt really frictionful or stressful because there was value misalignment. So if you're finding it difficult to understand, okay, well, what did feel aligned? What did give me energy? What felt really in tune with my values? If that's like, I don't know, perhaps the easier place to start is what didn't, and why didn't it? And what you can then kind of back solve is what was missing for you. Or maybe you can just jump straight there. What am I proud of? What am I really proud of over the last 12 months? Even if it doesn't look big on paper, even if, God forbid, you didn't do it perfectly, and your life's still a work in progress, because ain't they all? What are you proud of? This is the time to really boast to yourself. Like you would force a friend to be like, no, tell them the great thing that you've done. Do that to you. We need to be the cheerleader in our life, and we need to cheer everyone else on. But I think it needs to start internally as well. So, my dear friend, what are you proud of achieving this year? And I think lastly, what I want you to consider, and sometimes this is not always easy to practically make happen, but in an ideal utopian world, what would you like to leave behind in 2025 and not bring into 2026? What are you wanting to leave behind? And perhaps even consider why you want to leave that behind. It might be really obvious, or it might take a little bit of digging deep into to consider, what would leaving that behind mean for me? And how could life look different if I genuinely was able to leave that behind? If I could live in that utopian place, I'd be leaving quite a lot, including washing. I'd be leaving washing in 2025. Alas, I can't leave washing into 2025 and never again. But do consider, what would you get rid of if you could? Is there any way that some of that stuff could genuinely be left behind? And by leaving it behind, what do you gain? Okay, after the break, I'm going to help you just really simply, really neatly package up one goal for the new year. But this is a mini app. I'm trying to get real small, real fast, juicy, jam-packed, full of insights. We're going to do one goal after the break to get you ready for the year ahead.
If you're after personal financial advice, don't get it from a podcast. If you would like help based on your own personal situation, head over to moneypodcast.com.au, click Get Help, and we'd be happy to introduce you to one of our trusted professionals. Our panel of vetted financial advisors and mortgage brokers work with people all over Australia so they can connect with you wherever you are. That's moneypodcast.com.au and click Get Help.
Okay. I really believe in goal setting, and I teach a pretty methodical goal setting process. And if you have done the Greenhouse program, you will know my full goal setting method. And I think I've done other episodes on Financially Fierce where I've given a cut down version of it. This is cutting it down again. And I will say, this is to give you some short, sharp insights. I do think it is important to go really broad and to get really macro and to look at your life from, a bird's eye view. But for a lot of people right now, that feels too big and quite scary, actually. And so if that is you, that is okay. Let's just give you one task. But at some point, my dear friend, you must come back and do the full. Because what I know to be true is that people with money goals that don't do the macro, they don't do the kind of zoom out before they zoom in, they tend to just do short, sharp 12-month goals. And whilst 12-month goals are fantastic because we can see a lot of fast progress, they don't often help us build long-term security with our money. In saying that, if we just want to focus on short, sharp for now, because that's where we're at, I got you, let's do this. What I want you to really think about is one anchor goal that you can achieve by the end of the next quarter. So depending on when you're listening to this, so if you're listening to this as this episode goes out, hello, I want you to think about a goal that you can achieve by the end of Q1 in 2026. So we are not talking about some big, huge mammoth goal, pay off your mortgage, have certain levels of passive income, pay off all of your credit card debt, send the kids to private school. I'm not talking about any of that. I want to get really small and we want to build good habits. So I want you to get really, really, really into the weeds and think about what is a realistic goal, not too big, not too small. We're in that just right zone. I call this the GGG goal setting method. What could a goal look like that you could achieve in the next 3 months, by the end of the next 3 months? So again, if you're listening to this when it comes out, by the end of Q1 2026, depending on whenever it is that you're listening to this, 3 months away, what could be realistic for you? I want you to think of it as like a ripple goal. So by achieving that thing, it is going to have an impact or an effect on many areas of your life. So it is not just the one thing, it is the gift, if you will, that keeps giving. So it can be something that is impactful in many areas of your life. And often this is a habit thing. And so by being, diligent or structured or disciplined in one area, it creates sort of this muscle memory, if you will, that then can be applied over multiple areas of our life, including our money world. And I want you to think about how we do this energetically in a way that is going to not require so much from you that you give up, but you can create it seamlessly into your life with a level of consistency that will mean that you achieve the goal. This cannot be a one and done. We like to think with money that we set up something once, we do all this hard, heavy lifting, and then, thank God, we can tick it off our list. But the people that are most successful with money see this as a marathon. This is not a sprint. And so we want to create that consistency element, and we don't want to go too hard, too fast and burn out. We want to make sure that we're at a pace where we feel like we are doing it and we are not going to fall to the ground. So I want you to pick a goal that if you really focused on creating that consistency and, diligence, could be achieved by the end of the 3-month mark. And that could be a whole variety of different things, but it might be something like I have a weekly money date with myself and or my partner, or a monthly money date with myself or my partner. I set up an automation to put savings into my offset account or my emergency fund or my holiday fund for the year. Maybe it's as simple as that. It might be that you do a check and an audit of your superannuation or your investments that you currently hold, or you review your mortgage because maybe you're not on the best deal for you anymore. Maybe it's that you decide to say no to more things in the first quarter of the new year because you're really careful about how you are spending your money in alignment with your values. By doing some of those things, you will see that they have a ripple effect and they require you to carve out time and be patient and kind to yourself throughout that process as well. So, what is the thing that you want to get done in the next 3 months? And if you're going to commit to it, I want you to put it in your calendar and maybe set like a weekly reminder so that you're telling yourself, hey, this is what I've said I'm going to get done by this date. I'm going to show up for myself every week, or I'm going to save X amount every fortnight or every pay. And by the end of Q1, I'm going to be at this level. And put that end date and target in your calendar. Invite your bestie to it in case you need someone to really see where you're at. Think about how can you support yourself, but have others support you through this journey as well. Achieving goals on the screen looks glamorous, sexy, perfect, polished, and beautiful. And I have helped enough people achieve big financial goals. I am so lucky to have achieved some pretty big financial goals in my life as well. And it felt nothing like frolicking on a beach. It felt instead like we were crawling over rocks in the mud. There was no beautiful hair. There was no frolicking, certainly for myself or for the many, many people that I have helped. It doesn't feel like what we've been told it feels like. And so if you're doing the hard work, if you're growing and challenging yourself and carving out time that you could be using, I don't know, napping or snacking or doing something fun, and you feel alone, I need you to know you're not. We just have been sold this bullshit Kool-Aid that goal attainment looks a certain way, but I can promise you that it doesn't always look like what it says it does on the packet. It can feel really tough. And when you feel yourself wobble, you need to know that we are all right behind you, because what I want you to prove to yourself in the next 3 months is that you can do really hard shit and that you are wildly capable, my friend, because you are. And that in 3 months, you're going to look back and go, I don't even know what I was scared of. I totally nailed that. I learned a lot. I had little wobbles. I fell off the horse a few times, but I got back on, and now I'm ready for my next goal. I want you to prove to yourself that you can do it, that you can build and layer those habits that are going to create the change that you're looking for. And I want you to give yourself in real time that feedback loop of progress and dopamine so that your brain is excited and motivated to keep going. Because most people give up on their goals before they've even given them a red hot crack. There is nothing quite like letting yourself down. I've said this before, and I actually got a bit of heat from it. But I was like, God, of all of the painful breakups in my life, the one that I have been most remorseful of is the breakups where I have broken up or caused a lot of pain by not committing to myself and my goals. Nothing has quite stung like that for me personally. And I don't want you to look back on your life and think, shit, I waited for the perfect moment, for the perfect time, for the perfect hair, for the perfect vibe, for the perfect frolic opportunity, when life would stand still and give me this beautiful wide open space, because that does not happen. Life is a jungle. There are constantly things jumping out at every corner. And unfortunately, as much as we can try, we don't always know what's coming. And yes, we can prepare as best we can, but we just need to recognize that we got to muck in despite the weather, despite all the things that are coming at us and the bugs and the heat and all the things, because life is not going to give us that perfect moment of pause to become the version that we want to be of ourselves with no distractions. We are going from a messy, imperfect place and we're fucking doing it anyway. And that, I think, is something to be even more proud of, that we're doing it despite the headwinds, despite life constantly throwing us a barrage of often bullshit to have to deal with simultaneously. But you are stronger than you realize. You are more capable than you give yourself credit for. You can do really hard things. I know you can. I've helped so many people that have believed with every fiber in them that they couldn't do, and yet they did. And so if they can, I promise you, you can too. That is all from my mini episode this week. I'd love to know what your 3-month commitment to yourself is. Let me know on the gram or post it in the Money, Money, Money Facebook community. Hey, before I go, I should say, we're opening the greenhouse money growing program. It starts early February 2026, depending on when you're listening to this. I will run it 3 times. I've already done the calendar for 2026. She'd be busy. We're only running it 3 times in 2026. If you want to be part of the greenhouse, please join our waitlist so that you will get early access and extra goodies. If you want me to help you build your financial plan so that you build more financial confidence, stability, and actually the game plan with all the tools and resources and me kicking you up the ass with love every week for 10 weeks, you can join now, depending on when you're listening to it, or sign up to the waitlist to hear when it goes live or when I open the doors to the metaphorical greenhouse. I would love for you to join us. Join us. There's been hundreds and hundreds of people that have done it. We've helped people from 19 all the way up to 64, I think is the eldest person, and everyone in between, all different ages and stages, walks of life, income bands. It's a really beautiful community of people that are showing up, leveling up, learning, leaning in, and doing it as a collective. And honest to God, there is not much more that is, I think, more empowering and beautiful to me in the money world than seeing people do it scared together and share their insights and lessons. So if you want to be part of that community, I would love, love, love to have you inside the greenhouse. Come and learn more. Otherwise, that is all from this mini episode. Good luck. You know what to do. Go now and be financially fierce. Bye.
We acknowledge the traditional owners of country throughout Australia. We pay our respects to elders past and present. Any advice is general financial advice only, which does not take into account your objectives, financial situation, or needs. Because of that, you should consider if the advice is appropriate to you and your needs before acting on the information. If you do choose to buy a financial product, read the Product Disclosure Statement, PDS, and Target Market Determination, TMD, and obtain appropriate financial advice tailored to your needs. Jessica Brady is an Authorised Representative of Paradigm Pty Ltd, Authorised Representative Number 1259972, AFSL 297276, ABN 16108571875, Corporate Authorised Representative Number 1305567.